Hi everyone, this is Dayna with Nellie DeeCee Crochet. And today I thought it would be fun to do this little tutorial of this cute starfish. And the reason why I thought of doing this is because in a week I'm going to meet my daughters and their families and my grandchildren at the beach in Florida. And I thought, well, this is the perfect time to do some seashells and starfish. So here we go. To use this bright orange yarn by it's Katana by Shapius, and I love using the Katana yarns. There are, I think there's 96 different colors, so many beautiful bright colors to choose from. Here's a couple of more that I have, and I love these bright colors. So I am using the Katana, which is mercerized cotton, and it's a fairly lightweight, so I need to use a D hook when I make my project. All right, so let me put these aside and get my orange out. We're gonna start with a magic circle. So if you've never done one, you're going to wrap your yarn around your two middle fingers twice. Then put your hook through the first part and grab the second one. And then yarn over and do like a slip stitch, or a chain actually. Now take your fingers out and hold on tightly to the part you just worked on. And now with your left hand, hold on to everything, and let's do 10 single crochets inside the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, pull your end a little bit, about that much. Now we can slip stitch into the first stitch. Hopefully you didn't make it too tight. Sometimes it's tight and hard to get in there. Okay, so slip stitch. Okay, now you can pull your end tightly. Alrighty, so you should end up with a little teeny weeny circle like that. Okay, now we're going to start making his legs, so let's chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we're going to do a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, right here. Okay. 1 single crochet. Now do another single crochet in the next chain. Okay, now do a half double into the next one and the next. And 2. So far we've done 2 singles, 2 half doubles. Now we're going to do 2 doubles, 1 in each of the next 2. And here's the second one. Okay, now in the last 2 stitches we're going to do a treble in each. So we yarn over twice. Go in the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now one more treble into the last stitch. Okay, now at this point we're going to skip the next stitch in our circle and slip stitch into the next one. Alrighty, so now we've connected it. Now we're going to do the second leg. So I'll walk you through the second one. Chain 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in the next one. Half double in the next 2. And 2. And double, yarn is getting mixed up, double in the next 2. And now we're going to do a treble in the next 2. 1. So if you hold tightly when you've got when you've got a small piece you're working with, hold tightly at the end, it helps. And then a treble in the last stitch. I don't know if you can hear my cat flipping around and eating. Okay, so now we're going to skip a stitch at the base and slip stitch into the next stitch. Alrighty, now we've done 2 legs, and so there's 3 left. You go ahead and work on the last 3, and I'll meet you back around almost when we're finished with the last one. Okay, so now at this point we've gotten all 5 legs done, and we've got one more to skip, and then we are going to slip stitch into the last beginning of the first leg. Okay, so let's slip stitch in here, right there. Like so. Now we can cut our yarn. Cut your yarn, pull it through. Alrighty, so now he looks like this, all curled up. So at this point we're going to weave in our ends, and you can keep pulling this tightly in the back, the one that is attached to the starting magic ring. So pull it snug, and then we're going to weave in just the top part of your stitches, if I can get my hook in there, my needle. And pull it snug. Now this is actually an applique that we're making, so the back is not going to be seen since you're going to sew it onto something. I haven't decided what I'm going to sew it onto yet, but maybe a cute beach hat or a beach type of crocheted baby blanket or something. Okay, now I can go ahead and cut my yarn close. Then I'm going to weave in this one. And then I'm going to show you how to put on his suckers. Is that what we call them? Are they suckers? I can't remember. Okay, so I'm pulling my yarn snug and bringing it to the back. And weaving in. One thing I learned about weaving in the ends from somebody, I can't remember who, is especially good on a blanket. You weave in several stitches up and then you come back and do weave in the same spot, pretty close to the same spot, and that will kind of lock in your yarn or your thread. Okay, now this is what we have so far, all curled up. So I actually, you know, a lot of people don't like to do French knots, but I enjoy doing a French knot. So I'm going to show you how to make French knots on your starfish for these little suckers. If you don't like to do French knots, you can sew in some little bitty beads. Now the back looks like this. Because it's an applique, this won't be seen. Okay, I've got some white yarn. Hopefully my strand is not too long. We don't want it too long because then it'll get all tangled. I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot in the end. Now, I'm going to start in the second treble from the base of any of the legs. From the back, I'm going to poke my needle through. Now let's see if I can do this since it's on a table rather than my leg. To make a French knot, you're going to wind your yarn around the end of your needle, like so. As close to the tip as you can and keep it tight. Then put your finger on, hold it snug. Whoops, that didn't work. And try to put your needle back in as close to the original spot where you came up. Put it right back in nearby, keeping this thread pulled snug. And then pull, gently pull it through, pull your yarn through. And it's like magic. It makes the neatest little knot. Isn't that cute? Now skip the next stitch and come up through the next one. The next, that would be a double, second double crochet. Come up in the middle. Let's do another one. You don't pull it too tight or else you'll make it kind of pucker. Alrighty, now wrap your thread, your yarn around the end of your hook, needle. We don't have a hook anymore. Doesn't it bug you when people are actually crocheting, but they're calling their hook a needle as though they're knitting. That just, I don't know, that just bugs me. Now we've wrapped it around, hold it snug and try to go in as close to the spot where you came up, but not right on it, because then it just will disappear. Now gently pull your thread through. Try not to get it in a more knot than it's supposed to be. All right, there's the second French knot. Now we're going to skip a stitch and come up for the third one. And again, don't pull too tightly on the back. Oops, a cat hair. Okay, now wrap the yarn around the end of your needle. Pull it snug and try to go, whoopsie, try that again. And keep it close to the end, go back very close to where you first came up. You gotta hold your mouth just right to make it happen. I'm hoping I didn't go in the wrong spot. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So that is our first three. Now on the back, in order to not have to keep cutting and starting all over, I'm going to weave just on the very top of the stitch. Weave my yarn. Oops, what's going on? And again, don't pull tight, but you won't be able to see the weaving on the front, but weave your yarn so that you can get back up to be ready for the next leg. French knots on the next leg. Loosen it up. And now, pretty close to being able to get to the next one, but I want to carefully connect these so that it's not noticeable on the front. So I'm going to go halfway through the stitch, like that. And then I'm going to double check. I'm going to turn it around to make sure. Okay, I think that's going to work. But if where you came up is showing in the front, we'll just, pull your hook out, pull your needle out and that section and just do it again. So again, we're going to go in the middle of the second stitch from the end, from our middle section. I'll show you one more time, and then I'll meet you back when we are finished. Okay, so remember, we wrap around one time around the needle, hold it as close to the end as possible. Whoops, try that again. And go back in as close to the original stitch. And go back down. This is going to be a little bit crooked. It's not going to be directly in the center. Okay, here's the first one. Okay, so keep going in the same way, and I'll see you back at the end when we've finished with the French knots. All right, so we've got all our French knots in, and like I said, if you don't like French knots, you don't like to do them, you can always sew in little beads instead for his suckers. And the back looks like this. And then when you've finished your last stitch, just tie a knot and weave it in. And because since it's an applique, it's not, the back won't be noticeable. So here is our finished starfish. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like it and share the video with your friends. And I'll see you on another video. This is Dayna with Nellie DeeCee Crochet. Bye-bye.